Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Deb Sofield, and you're listening to my weekly podcast series called Encouragement for Your Life. Most of you know I'm a national speaker, trainer, and coach. I like to say I help people find their voice and learn to use it. I'm also a conference speaker on the topics of public speaking, presentation skills, how to deal with the media, and crisis communication. I've got a number of other presentations on my website if you'd like to check those out. If your organization has an upcoming conference and you need a keynote speaker, I hope you'll reach out at debsofield.com. I would love to be a part. I've got a number of great books on the market. My best-selling book, Speak Without Fear. My book, Perfecting Your Platform. Both of those are on Amazon and Audible if you like to listen to books. And my series, Encouragement for Your Life, which is a compilation of these podcasts, they're available on Amazon, volumes 1 through 3. Just go into Amazon, type in my name, Deb Sofield, all my books will appear. I've got a great show today, and I'm calling it Not My Rodeo, Not My Bull. I'm Deb Sofield. Thanks for joining me for these next few minutes. Let's get started with today's show. All right, friends, I'm calling this Not My Rodeo, Not My Bull. Hey, when you feel yourself being pulled into someone else's drama, just repeat these words. Not my rodeo, not my bull. I also like the phrase, not my circus, not my monkey. It's all about the same in meaning, but here's what it means. Hey, be wise, my friend, and don't let yourself get caught up in other people's drama. Have to admit, I laughed out loud when I saw this quote because I love the rodeo. My mom grew up in Cody, Wyoming, so I come by it honestly. Not my rodeo, not my bull. I can't begin to tell you how often it seems that others, well-meaning people and some not so well-meaning people, want you and me to get involved in their drama. And for the record, it's always a bad idea to do so because once you're dragged into the conversation of someone else's trouble, it is hard to pull yourself out of it. And if you're not careful, somehow, some way, they'll make it your issue. And then you're stuck conversing about people you have no bone to pick with in the first place. All because you allowed yourself to be pulled into the vortex of other people's drama. It almost happened to me last week. I was sitting at lunch with some friends, and one of my table mates was going on and on and on about how she didn't like this organization's CEO. And then she said, Deb, don't you think he's a poor leader? Whew, now that was a very sly move to involve me in her dislike of the CEO and put me in an odd position because, 1, I don't go to those meetings, 2, I like the CEO, and frankly, I've got no complaint with him or his leadership, and 3, there was no need to involve me in her blanket conversation about the guy's leadership or lack of it. What I figured out was this. By involving all of us at the table, she was looking for cover to make her biting remarks seem less harsh and make the issue seem like it was bigger than it really was. I gotta say, it happened so quickly, and honestly, I felt sideswiped because within an instant, she had corralled all of us at the table into her drama of a CEO by assuming we would all get involved and agree with her dislike of this guy. In this case, I was quick enough to demur and say, I like the guy, and that I must know a different side of him than she does. And as quickly as she had corralled me into her comments, when I pushed back, she let me go and moved on to a few others who confirmed her dislike of the guy. Okay, so the reason I bring this issue up is that I am amazed how many times our friends, our office mates, our colleagues make a wide swing to bring you and me into their drama so they don't seem so alone in their anger. But remember this. Drama doesn't just walk into your life. You create it, you invite it, or you associate with it. And my advice to you is to do none of the above. I'd advise you to step away from the dust storm and find a quiet place to reassess your thoughts on the matter before you speak or engage too fully with those who are chattering about everything and nothing, all to create drama. I saw a quote that said, just because some people are fueled by drama doesn't mean you have to attend the performance. That's a good one. For years, I had a quote on my Twitter page that said, if it's not your battle, don't make it your burden. And that doesn't mean I don't care about an issue, but I must say, as I've gotten older, I care more about living my life with peace and serenity than drama and negativity. Listen, the less you and I respond to negative people, the more peaceful our life will become. It's just a fact of the universe. As I was researching this topic, I came across a few really good articles that helped me with today's message. The bottom line is this: others will draw you into their drama for their selfish reason, because it's always about them. Believe it or not, the biggest driver for most drama queens and kings is that they feed on the thrill of emotion. The addiction to drama is not much different than an addiction to gambling. When drama is happening in a relationship dynamic, excitement happens and the body produces adrenaline, and then there's a rush of energy. People addicted to drama are seeking that rush of adrenaline or the thrill that the rush of energy brings them. For people who lead very uninteresting and monotonous lives, that rush of adrenaline helps them feel alive. Creating drama means stirring up energy, just kind of like a thrill seeker trapped in a mundane life. Stirring up drama by creating family conflicts or blowing things out of proportion may be the only expression the thrill seeker has left. Wow, these people love the distraction from their own lives. See, so what happens is when we stop creating drama and craving for external distractions in our lives, well, most people are left with a big fat nothing. They're left to deal with themselves, their lives, their deeds. We're left with the deafening silence that causes us to become more aware of the reality of our existence. Suddenly, the silencing noise, the noise that numbs our mind, our thought, and our inquisitive questioning processes, well, it's gone. A veil is pulled back from our eyes, and we get to see our lives for what they are. Or maybe empty, two-dimensional, lost. Perhaps that's why so many people become relentless drama queens. They are treading the temptingly easy path of external stimulation and distraction rather than taking the internal path and becoming solitary sojourners. You know, it's hard to believe that some people's lives are so empty that they choose the noise of drama over the quietness of a life well lived. My final point on drama seekers is that these are people who need personal attention. Some people need excessive attention and get it by behaving inappropriately. It can be due to low self-esteem, lack of self-confidence, low levels of self-worth or self-love, or a feeling of insecurity. Some may seek positive attention by creating situations in which they hope to be praised and thanked or admired. Some perhaps are not bothered about the quality of the attention they get, just as long as they get some. And so they will elicit negative attention by making a scene in public, getting over indignant about a trivial matter, causing heads to turn and tongues to wag. Some seek out sympathy by always having something to complain about. If you care for someone whose actions are done to get others to take notice and react, friend, it's important to consider what's motivating them. And if it's a one-off, it might be a sign of tiredness or a reaction to pressure and stress. But if the behavior is persistent and goes beyond what one might consider maybe normal, that could be a sign of an underlying mental health issue. I think it's rare that someone is forthright enough to call into question the emotional and mental health of a drama seeker. But many of the articles I read pointed to this very issue. See, a person who is concerned with drama thrives on commotion, upheaval, and disorder to get their way. You know the type. They're sweetly nice on one day and absolutely crazy the next. They prey on the kindness of friends and family who try to help and are generous to a fault. So they focus on themselves. They love to compare their lot in life, which is never enough, and then to others, and then they act out for attention. They cause disorder for the emotional thrill of being in control. And by being a whirling dervish, they can distract their mind from their own pathetic life as they seek the personal attention of others to start the process over and over and over again. Okay, so next time, a friend or family member begins to corral you into the drama of others, remember, it is important that you respect yourself enough to walk away from anything that no longer serves you, grows you, or makes you happy. And I'll add that the famous line from Dr. Maya Angelou, when people show you who they are, believe them. I know we were taught to give others a second, third, fourth, fifth chance. But sometimes, once is more than enough. When you see for the first and hopefully last time the outcome of someone else's drama world. Why? Because, friend, hear me loud and clear. It is not your rodeo, and that is certainly not your bull. I know, tough love, tough, mean old Deb, telling it like it is. And I know it's hard because a lot of these they're our friends, and they're psycho. And I don't know what happened. I wish them well, but I'm not going to stay around because life is too short to have so much drama that upsets my little beating heart. Okay, believe it or not, you've been listening to Deb Sofield's Encouragement for Your Rockstar Amazing Life, because I want you to have an amazing life. And I want you to join me next week so we can continue this journey together as we work towards a better day. And remember, I don't care what the world says about you. I want you to know I care about you, and I care about you because you don't belong at that rodeo. It's not your bull. It's not your rodeo. So I'm going to walk alongside you with cowboy hat in hand as we follow your dream of success together. All right, take care, everybody. Have a great weekend.